When Heaven Remembered Adaeze. A faith-inspired story of restoration and hope. The morning sun crawled slowly across the rooftops of Enugu, painting the walls of Adaeze's small apartment in a faint golden hue. The house was quiet, too quiet. Once upon a time, laughter had lived there, the sound of her husband Chike teasing the children while Adaeze prepared breakfast. But now, all that remained were echoes and memories that felt like ghosts. Adaeze sat by the window, her wrapper tied loosely around her chest, staring blankly at the world outside. Her phone lay silent on the table. No missed calls, no messages. The silence had become her companion. Her husband had left 6 months ago. No warning, no explanation, just a cold conversation that ended with heartbreak. "Adaeze," he had said, voice heavy with exhaustion, "I need some space. Don't call me for now. I'll send something for the children." He didn't. Days turned into weeks, and the little savings she had began to vanish. School fees, rent, food, every need pressed against her like a weight she could no longer carry. At night, when the children slept, Adaeze would sit in the dark and whisper through her tears, "God, have you forgotten me? Did I offend you? Why is this happening to me?" No answer came, only silence. Then, one afternoon, her friend Amaka visited. She noticed the weariness in Adaeze's eyes and took her hand. "Adaeze," she said softly, "join NSPPD. Every morning at 7, Pastor Jerry Eze leads prayers online. People are getting testimonies every day. You need to be there." Adaeze sighed. She had heard of NSPPD, the prayers, the energy, the declarations, but her heart was tired. Still, that night she found herself searching for the channel. She set her alarm for 6:45 a.m. just to see for herself. The next morning, the house was still dim when Adaeze sat cross-legged on the bed, her phone in hand. As the live stream began, the screen filled with people typing, "What God cannot do does not exist." Then a man's voice, passionate, commanding, filled with fire, broke through the speakers. "Today," said Pastor Jerry Eze, "I speak restoration over broken homes. I decree, whoever left you shall be restless until they return. What God cannot do does not exist." Adaeze froze. It felt as though the words were spoken directly to her. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "Lord, if you can do it for others, please, do it for me." That morning, something changed. She didn't fully understand it, but she felt lighter. The heaviness that had crushed her chest began to lift. From that day forward, she joined NSPPD faithfully every morning. Each declaration became a seed in her heart. Each prayer, a brick rebuilding her faith. She started writing down every prophetic word in a small notebook. On the cover, she wrote 3 words, "Heaven remembers me." Weeks passed. The days were still hard, but she had peace, a kind of peace she hadn't known in years. Then one night, Adaeze had a dream. She found herself standing on a vast mountain covered in clouds. The air shimmered with golden light, and there, at the top of the mountain, stood Pastor Jerry, holding a staff that glowed like fire. His voice echoed through the wind, "Adaeze, heaven has remembered you. The same God who turns bitter waters sweet has entered your matter." She woke up trembling. The dream felt real. Too real. She fell to her knees and began to pray, weeping. She didn't understand how, but she knew something had shifted in the spirit. 3 days later, her phone rang. The screen showed a name she hadn't seen in months. Chike. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. Greater than her hello. For a few seconds, there was only silence. Then his voice came through, low and shaky. "Adaeze, I don't know what's happening to me. I can't sleep. I keep seeing you and the children in my dreams. I'm sorry. Please, I want to come home." The tears came freely this time, not from pain, but from joy. "Greater than 'come home,' cheek," she whispered. "We've been waiting." That night, Adaeze sat by the same window where she once cried in despair, but this time she looked up and smiled. "Greater than what God cannot do does not exist," she said softly. When Chike returned home, he wept before his wife and children, begging for forgiveness. It wasn't easy, but Adaeze chose to forgive him. Their family began to rebuild, this time with faith at its center. Adaeze started a small catering business. She cooked with joy. Food seasoned not just with spice, but with gratitude. To her surprise, customers multiplied quickly. Orders came from people she didn't even know. Everyone who ate her food said the same thing. "Madame Adaeze, there's something special about your cooking." And she would smile and reply, "It's grace. Only grace." Months later, she sat again by that familiar window. The same sun that once rose on her pain now shone on her peace. Her children's laughter filled the house, and Cheek's voice echoed in the background as he helped with homework. Adaeze picked up her little notebook. "Heaven remembers me," and ran her fingers across the cover. "Lord," she prayed, "thank you for remembering me. And thank you for using your servant, Pastor Jerry Eze, to lift my faith. Truly, what you cannot do does not exist." Moral of the story: life may bruise you, but faith can rebuild you. Sometimes heaven seems silent, but silence is not absence. In God's perfect time, your story will change, just like Adaeze's. Because indeed, what God cannot do does not exist. Don't forget subscribe, like, share, and comment to this channel for more folktale stories.